Right, it's excuse me. It's time for perhaps one of the biggest unpacking videos of 2011, really. It's Friday the 25th of March, 5 to 9 in the morning, and I've just had delivered a couple of parcels. Now, I'm sure everyone's pretty aware of what this is, certainly by the title of the video. It's obviously obvious. This is a Nintendo 3DS, UK version, released today. I pre-ordered it from Game, and it was fairly decently priced actually. It was about £20 cheaper than the normal retail price, because if you pre-ordered it, they provided a discount on it. So let's have a look to see what this is. I've got two parcels. One is the 3DS with the game, which was Street Fighter 4, and I've got another parcel here which is just another game, which is Pilot Wings. So let's have a look to. I've got to be honest, I'm quite excited about this. I haven't seen one in the flesh. I never saw one at any of the roadshow events that Nintendo have been doing. Never managed to get to one of those. Right, so that's Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition. That there. And I'll open that up in a second so I'll have a bit more of a look of that. But this is obviously the most important part of the package. A Nintendo 3DS. So that's the box. So let's leave those games for the moment. And we'll have a look at this. Right, let's cut straight down to the chase and grab the Nintendo out. Now you got things in there. You've got a power supply. You have a charging dock, by the looks of it. Which is that there. And again, I'll show that in a bit more detail. Forget about that. Right, so here's the baby. Now I bought the black one. I didn't fancy the blue, the aqua, I think it was aqua blue or marine blue or whatever it's called. Right, it's not actually black actually. It's got some metallic in it. It's like a real dark gunmetal grey. It looks really nice actually. Is it there? You can see there it's got two, I don't know if you'll see that on the video, but you have two camera lenses there at the top. That's apparently from what I read to do with taking 3D photographs, so that would be quite doody. Oh yeah, it looks very nice. Very, very nice. It's a lot heavier, it feels a lot heavier than the DS. It actually feels better made, I've got to be honest. Right, so on initial inspection you got a cartridge slot at the back, which is there. I think that's a what's that? Is that a stylus? Oh no, that's the eject button, sorry. Berg. Right, you've got a power supply input on the back. It looks like you've got an infrared. You've got your shoulder buttons left and right. You've got a headphone socket presumably at the front. You've actually got an SD card holder at the side, which actually looks like it's got an SD card in there. Yeah, you have 2 gigabytes, so that comes with it. That's weird, that is, because on the promotional, right, you've got this slider here on the side of the screen, and that's for the 3D effect. And I'm sure on the versions that I've seen on the internet, they've actually got 3D at the top. I'm sure they got 3D at the top there, but there's nothing on there apart from off and up and down. Perhaps I'm mistaken there and talking crap. Right, so you've got the dual screen there. Top one is obviously the 3D one, and the bottom one is a normal screen. You've got your D-pad, which is there, and you've also got a nice analog pad there, which feels quite nice actually. You've got your normal buttons there, obviously, and your power button. Now at the bottom of the screen, a bit closer here, is that you've got this sort of touch panel, which presumably has got switching underneath, but you've got select, home and start. So obviously they all work with doing various functions. Now it hasn't got a stylus with it. I think the stylus is actually something that's separate. Unless I'm going to total jerk, which is quite possible. Right, I just had to cut the video there because I've just pulled out my normal Nintendo DS just to compare them. And whilst I stopped the video, I did have a quick look, a further look at this, and that thing that I'll say at the back that's next to the memory card, it is actually the stylus. You've got to give it a bit of a tug, like that, and you'll get a stylus come out, which looks extremely small, but they do extend out, so you pull it out, and that's your stylus. Put that down there for the moment. So just to compare the 3DS versus the DS, they are actually the same footprint. So if I stick those side by side, you'll see that they're the same, they're approximately the same width, they're certainly the same length and the same depth. So it's actually the same as the normal DS. And the build quality between the two, the 3DS is undoubtedly better. This is very plasticky, the DS is very plasticky. The screen itself is a tiny bit bigger. Both screens are a tiny, well, the 3D screen is a lot bigger. It's widescreen for a start compared to the DS, which wasn't widescreen, and even the screen on the bottom half, so the touch screen, that is bigger as well on the 3DS. So it's certainly a better looking machine. It's certainly built better, and it is, I said previously, it feels a lot heavier. It's not a lot heavier. It is slightly heavier, but because of the build quality, it sort of, it makes you think it's a lot heavier. It's a very nice unit. Now, when I broke the video then, to look for the stylus, etc., I had to switch this on, and it is absolutely awesome. I haven't put a game in it, but I've just gone through the introduction part to set up the 3D. The 3D effect is absolutely awesome. It really it works so well on the demo. Absolutely brilliant. Depth of field is just amazing, absolutely amazing. Couldn't believe how good it was. So I look forward to put some games in on that. The displays themselves are very crystal clear. The actual 3D one, so the top panel, is a real sharp display. And if I just switch it on, when I turned around and said before that I'm sure this had 3D on the side by the slider panel, it does. It's actually illuminated. Now whether or not you can see that on there I don't know, but on the side you've actually got 3D on the side there. So it does actually do, it does actually light up 3D. But the actual 3D effect, like I said on the demo, is absolutely outstanding. It's amazing how it works, it really is. Let's just turn that back off again. As with most of the sort of demo or gameplay videos of this, it's going to be a waste of time me showing you games on this to actually give you the appreciation of what 3D looks like, because you can't have a 3D effect on while you're filming. It basically knackers up the imaging. Everything's got all ghosting on there, so of course you can't appreciate the 3D effect unless you actually see one in real life. So it's going to be a waste of time me actually showing you any games on this really for 3D effect. But from the couple of seconds that I've just used this for, 30 seconds or so, just to quickly go through the setup, it looks absolutely outstanding. So let's get back to the packages. So within the 3DS itself, there's various instruction manuals, operations manuals, customer support, all that good stuff. Now something interesting, pin number, what's this? Club Nintendo, I'll have a look at that, not sure what that is. Now these cards here are the augmented reality cards, and you get these with 3DS, and they do certain things to do with augmented reality. I've seen them demoed and they look pretty impressive, but basically using the 3D cameras at the front, it will actually view these cards. Several different cards there, and they all do different things as regards to little mini games, sub games or whatever. So I'll have a bash at those later, and I might even do a specific video of those. For the demos that I've seen, they look really good actually, so that's a promising feature for the future as regards to games making use of those augmented reality. Basically what it does is using the camera technology, you place the card on the surface, the cameras pick that card up, and they actually overlay whatever you're viewing for the camera with some graphics, and it will actually interact with those graphics and do things and all sorts of stuff against the background that you've got, you know, your table or whatever you know. So that's really promising, that is. Right, so back to the games. Right, Super Street Fighter 4 3D edition. Unraveling this. I suppose it's worth saying that I'm a bit of a Street Fighter nut. Absolutely love Street Fighter games. This is the first Street Fighter game that's come to a Nintendo console for quite a number of years. I think the last one that came out actually would have been for Super Nintendo. In fact, I think it was Super Nintendo. So this is quite a landmark really for Nintendo. You know, to come back to actually having the Street Fighter series back on its platform. So we've got a nice funky little cartridge. Is that there? Right, this is what I call a manual. This is the way the manual should be done, in my eyes, or my mind I should say. Nice colourful manual. Showing gameplay and special moves and characters, modes. So there's all the moves, characters. There we go there. So I'll give that a bash later, and I might even do a game review of that actually. And the other game I ordered was Pilot Wings. There was perhaps about 10 games or so. that were part of the release list, and I was on an hour into getting Ridge Racer, because I like Ridge Racer, but I've heard some mixed reviews about that, saying it's a bit gash, but I suspect that I'll end up getting it, to be honest. But out of the lineup, out of the release lineup, these were the two games that I really wanted to get. Heard real good things about Pilot Wings. Anyone that was into, or still is into, Super Nintendo will remember this game. This is one of the release games for the Super Nintendo when it first came out, Pilot Wings. Absolutely great little game, really is. And hopefully this is really good with 3D effects, you know, because you're flying and things coming towards you, etc. So that should be really good. So that's the case. Again, we've got instruction manual in there, a little cartridge. That's the cartridge there. And the manual. Quite amazing, actually. And the difference in the quality of the manual between this game, Pilot Wings, and Street Fighter, is that the Pilot Wings manual is a bit naff, to be honest. It's a bit sparse. There's a few colour images in there, but there's only a few pages in here, to be honest, and it's not a great manual. And you would have thought, considering this is one of Nintendo's own releases, that it would have been a bit more special, really, on the manual side. So that's a bit disappointing, but you know, I don't buy the games for the manuals, I buy the games for the games themselves, so I'm not too bothered about that. But I do look forward to playing that, admittedly. It should look really good in 3D. So that's a short overview, really, of the 3DS, the unboxing of the 3DS. And like I said, it's from what I've used it, very briefly, as regards to the setup and going through the menus. The 3D effect is absolutely outstanding. How that transpires onto how it's being used by the gaming developers will be interesting to see, and undoubtedly as games progress and the development progresses, I expect some really fantastic things on this 3DS, and I think it's going to be quite ground-breaking, really, certainly for the 3D side of things. Yes, all in all, really excited about this. It's certainly worth getting if you're a Nintendo fan, or if you're into your 3DSs, sorry, or if you're into your DSs, go out and get a 3DS. Hope you enjoyed the video. It gave you a bit of an insight, or gives you a bit of insight into the 3DS, and I will come back fairly soon, hopefully with some gameplay videos.